thank you for joining us on day one of NANOG 88. My name is Aaron Atach. I'm a network engineer at Akamai and a member of the NANOG program committee. I'll be the session moderator for this morning's presentation. To kick off with NANOG 88, in our conference opening, joining me on stage is Edward McNair, Rob Kennedy, Les Williams, Future Kane, and Kat Gorinsky. Edward is the executive director of NANOG and is joining us here from Portland. Rob is vice president of border network engineering at Amazon Web Services. And Les is a senior infrastructure business development manager at Amazon Web Services. They join us today from right here in Seattle. Future is a CEO at Future of SEL and is coming to us here today from Wisconsin. She is one of the NANOG ombuds on site for attendees this week. Kat is the chair of NANOG program committee and also a senior network engineer at Apple. She has traveled to us today from Austin, Texas. Edward, without further ado, please officially kick us off for NANOG 88.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Seattle. Thank you again for joining us. It's kind of exciting to be here. I love coming to these conferences and getting a chance to connect with people in our community, and because NANOG is really all about community. So I want to start out and talk about a few fun facts about Seattle that you may not be aware of. So Seattle is a derivative of the Squamish name South. South was the chief of the Squamish tribe when the first white settlers came here in 1851. The very first Starbucks which was opened up in 1971, is at Parks Place Market, a few blocks from here. If any of you go on to the market, you cannot miss it. It's a small hole in the wall. You'll know it's there because of the long line outside of the Starbucks. It doesn't rain here in Seattle. I live in Portland, so in the Pacific Northwest, it drizzles. Seattle doesn't even make the top 10 of the most rainiest cities in the United States. But when you're here, it doesn't feel like that, but that is the case. Cats, dogs, and kids, in that order. Cats outnumber dogs here in Seattle by 17%, and they also outnumber kids by 50%. So a lot more critters than there are kids running around this city. Seattle is the birthplace of music pioneers Jimi Hendrix, Hart, Kenny G, Nirvana band started here, Sir Mix-a-Lot, Kenny Loggins, Dave Matthews, and Soundgarden, all hail from Seattle. So, a little bit of statistics. On our website, you'll find an area called Statistics. It's there, open, you can find stuff. If you haven't connected to our NANOG network, NANOG is the SSID, and the password is NANOG in all lowercase. We are fortunate through a generous grant donation from Cisco Meraki to have new access points. So now we are offering Wi-Fi 6 and much better connectivity. So again, thank you for that donation. So that being said, would like to kind of acknowledge Amazon, our host sponsor. It's critical to have hosts to help us kind of put on these events. We try very hard to kind of deliver the best experience for our community, and our sponsors are key to that. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you Rob Kennedy and Les Williams from Amazon.
Thank you, Aaron. Really excited to be here. See a lot of familiar faces over my career at AWS. AWS is obviously hosted in Seattle, so it's great to have NANOG here in our hometown. I've been with AWS for the last 13 years. I'm the Vice President of Global Connectivity, so I am responsible for AS 16509. Obviously, when people think about Amazon Web Services, they think about the cloud, but in terms of the foundations of providing connectivity around the world for all of our services, that is the network AS 16509. At the heart of it, AWS is obviously the largest cloud provider in the world. We built one of the largest networks in the world. We have 31 regions around the world already launched, each with multiple availability zones. Those availability zones are completely independent of one another, providing high availability to any customer who wants to go and run workloads. We also have 450 points of presence around the world. All of our edge locations, we built out a huge amount of connectivity across our global backbone. We've leveraged that backbone as well recently to launch local zones, bringing more AWS services to more countries and directly to low latency applications. We've also launched wavelength zones with many telecommunications providers to also enable 5G workloads. We serve the entire world. I don't think there's anywhere that we don't touch. We also provide Direct Connect, which is our private connectivity solution in 115 locations around the world. So a little bit about 16509. We have been building 400 gig since its inception. So 400 gig is at the heart of our entire network. About 99% of our network is complete AWS custom designed solutions. We own the hardware, we design the hardware, we own the operating system that runs on them, and that's allowed us to bring in latest generation technology the moment it comes out in the industry and incorporate it into our network. We've been doing 400 gig in our what's called our border network, which is the public-facing backbone internet connectivity for the last number of years. We provide 400 gig peering now and 400 gig backbone services. We use that network to obviously run lots of different types of workloads. Thursday Night Football, I'm sure a number of you have watched last year. That all ran, the vast majority of that ran on top of our network. We have automated peering, interconnects, embeds that we deliver as well as part of that service. All of our network is highly automated, so about 98% of our events that happen every single day don't even involve any engineer. And we have a big focus on security. All of our backbone network is 400 gig MACsec encrypted, and we've been driving RPKI since some of the early days, really trying to help prevent a lot of cybercrime out there. So anybody who's not implemented that, I would love to talk to you about how we can make some more progress. And at the heart of our network, we have a cloth fabric, which I think everybody knows about these days. Although again, because we own the underlying components, we've been able to do some interesting stuff with that underlying network design. So I will hand over to Les. I was also interested about the cats figure as well. There's no cats allowed in AWS offices, but there is dogs allowed. So now that I know that there's more cats, I'm going to go and try and push that one. So there you go, Les.
Thanks, Rob. Good morning, everybody. I'm Les Williams. I'm a senior infrastructure business developer at Amazon. My pronouns are he and him. And in addition to my day role at Amazon, I am also the lead for Amazon's North America Inclusion Ambassador chapter. And I've been coming to NANOG since 2012. And over the years, I'm serving on 3 NANOG committees, the programming committee, the student outreach committee, as well as the newly formed NANOG Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee that I'm a part of. We have a few things planned for you, and it seems like Seattle is happy to see you guys because the weather is cooperating. There is no drizzling. It's nice and sunny outside, and Seattle welcomes you, and Seattle is home to Amazon, so we welcome you, and we have our house open to you. We have a few things planned for you while you're here. We have our AWS Skills Center, where you can go into our cloud space and explore all our different cloud technologies, be able to explore things like AI, robotics, machine learning, and more. And in particular, you get free trainings out there. Given that you're here and we want you to make the most of your time, we've actually curated some trainings for you that is free up to the cloud practitioner level. And we have courses running on Thursday and Friday, actually throughout the week. So if you want to explore that space or you want to sign up for one of those trainings, you can click on the orange QR code or scan the orange QR code and be able to sign up for one of those sessions or just for a tour of the facility. Another thing that we have ready for you is Rob mentioned our capability on 400 gigs. and the fact that we have built our own hardware from the ground up. We do have the physical hardware here on site in room 308, Kilson. So if you have some time, feel free to stop by. Rob and I, as well as some of the folks who are instrumental in the design and development of our backbone and our network, will be there to talk to you about it. You can actually touch it. Again, it's in 308. We also have automated our peering portal for automated interconnection, and we'll have that on demo as well in room 308. Talking about the drizzling, and Seattle is not a rainforest, but we do have the rainforest in Seattle, actually the cloud forest. Over the years in working with NANOG, one of the things that we've worked on is the diversity program, and we are pleased that we are part of that launch, and we're looking to welcoming them into the spheres tonight for their inaugural activity. But not everybody has access to it, not everybody is registered for it. But if you do want to have a tour of the spheres has over 40,000 plants from cloud regions of more than 30 countries. So it's a great place for you to take a break, have a refreshing nature walk, and just experience it. We also have tours scheduled for that. You do need to have an Amazonian with you when you come in. So we have sign-ups for that as well. And that is the green QR code. So feel free to sign up for it. Additionally, we're in room 702, Clearwater, and that's our meeting space. So we are happy to meet with all of you. We're happy to talk to you about what we've done. And one thing I wanted to acknowledge is that in our journey in terms of technological innovation and everything we do, most of you in this room has been a part of it. You've worked with us, you've collaborated with us. So we're more than thrilled and excited to be hosting you along with NANOG today here at Seattle. So with that, I'll have to say a big thank you and welcome to NANOG 88. Have a great one.
Thank you, Les and Rob. We really appreciate the commitment that Amazon has extended to NANOG and the support, both financially and also through leadership. So thank you. Okay, all right. So I'd like to give a special thanks to all of our sponsors. NANOG exists, we're a nonprofit organization, sponsorship pays the bills. And without that, we can't deliver this experience that you guys are all enjoying in this room today. So they're very critical to the existence of our organization. I'd like to thank our diamond sponsor, Tool and Die, our platinum sponsors, Amazon, Aaron, and Sienna. Our gold sponsors, Blue Cat, F5, QTS, Telstra, and VeriSign. In addition, we'd like to thank some of our sponsors, our meeting connectivity sponsors, our network lounge sponsor, our espresso bar sponsors, our beer and gear sponsors. For those of you who have never been to a NANOG meeting before, you're going to have fun at beer and gear. So get a chance to look at the various sponsors and their booths. Great place to get swag and food. You'll really enjoy yourselves. Our peering sponsor, breakfast sponsors, lunch sponsors, our break sponsors, our social event sponsors, our service sponsors. That said, I would like to introduce our UNSPOD Future Kane, and she will talk to you a little bit about best practices and how to get along and like each other.
Thank you. Hello, 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 and welcome everyone. I am excited to be here with you today. Thank you for the introduction. My name is Future Kane, and I am going to start off today asking everybody, June 12th is a very important day. Do you know why? Does anybody in the audience think they know why June 12th is a very important day? Okay, June 12th, here's a little hint, my earrings, is Loving Day. Has anybody in the audience ever heard what Loving Day is? Okay, I see a few people. I'll give you a quick synopsis, but I would tell everybody to look it up. So Loving Day, in 1960s, law was passed that interracial marriages could take place. It is very important to me because I stand here before you as an interracial person. So that's important, and the world could use a little bit more love every day. So speaking of love, Tony and myself are here to just spread more love, to celebrate the glows, and then also take opportunities for growth. So we are here to help support the inclusion, belonging, welcoming, and safety of every person who chooses to come to any NANOG conference. What I would like to do now is introduce Tony. If you could please stand up. Thank you so much. He is up here in the front. See some people waving. Thank you for that welcome. And we are here, so at any time, if you would like, you could come and talk to us in person. If not, we also have an email address, and we have a more private area where we could sit and talk with you about either of those areas. We help to support the code of conduct. Now, we are a small piece as well as NANOG, and guess what? In this room, if you look around, you individually are the biggest piece. All the information that we have been given by you generously has then been passed on to NANOG, and they have implemented initiatives and different things to keep creating and expanding and evolving as an organization. So the code of conduct can be found on the website, but these are 4 pages of what the code of conduct is so that we can enforce love, so that we can enforce a little belonging here. And if you have any detailed questions about any of these, please come and talk to Tony or myself or both of us. Another important highlight I want to do for June is Juneteenth. And I did some research on your state here. Dating back to 1890s, we have in this state, Kent, which is 25 miles away, had a celebration of what Juneteenth is. And for those of you who don't know what Juneteenth is, it is a celebration that says the freedom and liberation of those who were enslaved are now free and could live a very different life and livelihood. All these dates at the bottom are different things that this state has done in order to celebrate Juneteenth. From 2002, they had a pageant. You go to now most recently in 2020 where they are now showing the flag. And then in 2021, here's an interesting fact for those of you who are in Washington, state parks are free. So on Juneteenth, if you live in the state or you're visiting on Juneteenth, you could go to any of the state parks for free. So there's lots of stuff that is going on here to celebrate and commiserate the Washington history of Juneteenth. Now, what's more important is Pride Month. How many people have seen this particular flag before? Okay, this is a newer flag. It wasn't always the flag. For those of you who want to talk more, I could talk for a very long time about this, but it's important for everybody to know that Pride is a celebration of things that started to kick off and happen in the community in New York for Stonewall riots. And the new flag was 2021 implemented. And you see the new colors that are more on the edge, and each color stands for something. So it stands for diversity, inclusion, and it also added the trans flag. So that's important for people to know because June is a celebration. So I ask everybody, how are you celebrating these things in your community, in your homes, and then in the places that you work? Now, we're choosing as NANOG and NANOG DEI committee to do this a variety of ways. What I would recommend is that you visit the webpage for the DEI committee, which is now live and super exciting. If you don't have it, it's nanog.org, DEI, and we have 14 committee members. I need to celebrate the committee members. So everyone who's on the DEI committee, can you please stand up? I see you over there in the front. Okay, so these are some representatives from the DEI committee. Everybody might not be here, but a lot of the stuff that you see that is taking place and the initiatives that are happening is because of the work of few people here. So thank you for your support and work. And if you feel like there's other things that we can do, please come to one of us. So the DEI activities that we have in place, super exciting. There is scavenger hunt taking place at 2 different times, so you could sign up for that. The other thing is the Google form for the times which are later today and then tomorrow morning. The next thing that you already spoke about briefly was Women in Tech Mixer, which is focusing on a panel of embracing equity. It's the inaugural event, and it happens later today. That's super exciting, and I need to celebrate and shout out 15% women is the most recent stat for NANOG, which is the highest participation for women at NANOG ever. Next is the networking at lunch tables. Oftentimes we don't know what to talk about when we're at lunch, whether you're new or not. So we will have different table talks, and whatever you say, that's calling to me, we ask you to go to the different variety of tables to talk more. If you don't see what you like, we put a question mark there. Why? Because make suggestions. We're open to things, and we're going to continue to do this as the days and the weeks and the months and the years go on. So I am saying I and Tony are NANOG Umbuzz. We are here for your confidentiality, for your celebrations, for your opportunities for growth. And at the end of the day, we can't do it without you. So thank you, and thank you, NANOG. Kat, program, could you please tell us a little bit more about it?
Give you a chair.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kat Gorinsky. I am the current chair of the program committee, and so I'd like to give you a little bit of background on that. So, this is a list of our program committee members. We have a good group of 20 plus members. We are board appointed and self-governing. During this meeting, we're going to have some tracks and talks on topics such as APIs and automation, inclusive hiring, BGP, RPKI. We have some really cool tutorials on PyGNMI and ChatGPT, and also on BGP techniques. And there's lots of other topics too not covered here. We have a great lineup of talks for you guys the next 3 days. Len Bozak will be coming up in a few minutes as our keynote speaker today, and his presentation is on From Data Links to Internets, a quick tour. So some tips for you if you're going to be using the website. On the virtual chat, the chat tab is where you can talk to other attendees. There are remote attendees as well as all of you here. If you go to the Q&A tab, though, that is the place where you can go and ask a question for the end of each speaker, or you can come up to the microphones here to ask your questions. So a reminder, please remember to state your name and affiliation when you ask your questions. But if you're nervous and don't like standing up in front of a group, then it's totally fine to just put those questions in the QA. We will have someone moderating those at all times to ask them for you. There's also a help tab, so if you have any technical issues with the chat or the stream or anything, you can talk to us about those and we'll look into those. And then also on the website, we have the agenda and the presentation materials on there. So when people come up to speak each day, you'll be able to actually look at those slides on your own computer if you don't want to be staring up at the screen the whole time. You can follow along there and download those. Reminder to submit lightning talks. They are in person. We have 2 lightning talk time slots this meeting. Tomorrow's will be from 5:30 to 6 p.m. and Wednesdays will be from 4:15 to 4:45 p.m. The cutoff to submit your lightning talk abstracts is 3:30 p.m. the day before you wish to speak. We'll send notifications the evening prior, so please don't forget to have your cell phone number updated in your profile so that we can actually get a hold of you and let you know. And then if you are selected, your final slides for your lightning talk will be due by noon on the day of your presentation. Also, don't forget to fill out our surveys. So at nanog.org/surveys, you'll find a daily survey for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and each day you complete a survey, there's a chance to win a $100 gift card. There's also a hackathon survey as well for those of you that participated on Sunday in the hackathon. The surveys will remain open through Friday, but please do try and fill those out each day if you have a few minutes. They're very simple. Thumbs up, thumbs down, and a section for comments for any talks that you did attend. Those really help us as a program committee figure out what's working, what's not working. Also, at the end of all of those, there's always a section where we ask, like, what other topics do you guys really want to hear about? And we regularly use those to go out and help ask speakers to present topics for us and talks. So if you're really wanting to see something that we didn't cover this time, please do fill that out because we actually use that a lot to plan for the next meeting. And with that, I will hand it back over to Erin. And I hope you guys enjoy our lineup of talks.